Hi friends. So this video is probably gonna get out a little over a week after the last upload. Let me just start off by saying that this week has been interesting. Lots of things have happened since I turned on this camera last. And because of all this, it's left me feeling extremely lethargic. If you didn't know, a few weeks ago, they found multiple gas leaks in our basement suite. And the gas was leaking into the wall. It was trapped in there. We actually don't know how long the gas had been leaking for. The only reason the landlord even noticed that something was up was because the gas bill went up. This is the only time that I am fully thankful that capitalism exists. The last few weeks we've been looking for apartments, and being introverts and also people who suffer from a lot of anxiety, it's been emotionally taxing. That's left me feeling incredibly unmotivated to film. I'm also not feeling terribly creative this week. There are plenty of things that I should be working on instead of just sitting on the couch and playing Animal Crossing for 8 hours a day. However, sometimes that's just how you get through the week. That being said, I need to upload something. So this week I thought, since I also have to, after filming this, film an audition. I don't want to do anything crazy with my face today. In fact, I actually wanted to try my hand at talking through how I do my makeup to look relatively natural, which is not something I often do here or in real life. So this will probably be a very good tutorial for someone who's looking to do some makeup for a Zoom meeting, a little no makeup day. Anyway, this intro is already too long, so let's just put on a very minimal amount of makeup and try to make ourselves look nice, glowy, fresh. If that sounds like fun to you, then please keep on watching and let's get started. Indeed, it did take me 9 minutes to get through that intro. Okay, also can we just talk about how cute this little set is? I'm repping my fave local brand today, a little bit of Smash and Tess. So at the moment, my skin is actually doing pretty well. Don't know why, because I am stressed. However, my breakouts are minimal, even the hormonal ones. I recently got sent through Influencer the Dr. Bill Murray. I've never heard of them before, I've never even seen them, but I've been enjoying putting those into my routine. I especially really love the foaming cleanser. It is definitely not overly stripping or drying or irritating. It does not leave my skin feeling tight, and all of their products smell really good. I'm still a bit iffy about fragrance and skin products. I don't really know why fragrance would be in anything that has to go on your face. That being said, the foaming cleanser is really, really lovely. No irritation or flare-ups yet. So yeah, I'll chalk that up to, you know, some good skincare, since it's definitely not my lifestyle at the moment. So what I have done already to prep my skin, I have cleansed, I have serumed, I have eye creamed, I have SPF'd. I'm still really enjoying that Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Face Mist sunscreen. So this is going to be very skin focused. I want to keep this really fresh, dewy, which means I'm going to try and forego as much foundation as humanly possible. I may or may not still use the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation, but I will use it as a spot concealer. So we'll go in with the concealer first, and I will just dot it on in the areas that I know need light the most. And then today we're mostly using fingers as well, just to use our natural body heat to warm up product. If you've seen this technique before, it's been kind of lovingly dubbed the Robert Welsh technique. He kind of popularized it, even though it's been around for a long time, as he will tell you. It's just using 2 spots of concealer as opposed to dragging it all the way under the eye will help us only use it in the places that we need it, because we don't actually need to bring it all the way underneath the eye in order to give a lifted, brightened effect. He says to concentrate on the inner and outer thirds of the under eye and blend to the middle from there. And so this area notwithstanding, you can see how much brighter my under eye is. And I like to wipe off my finger in between sides of my face, just because I find that the buildup of product on my finger can sometimes interfere with the application. And with this technique, sometimes I don't even need to use powder. With a thinner layer of product, I find that my eyes crease way less. And then I think the other places where I'll use the lighter concealer is probably around the chin and the mouth, and then really tapping that in. And the goal for today is not to look flawless, because it's not going to happen with such little coverage. The goal is to look alive and ever so slightly corrected. Imperfections will show through. I'm going to use my Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation as concealer. It has a very handy dandy doe foot applicator for this exact purpose. So I'm just going to concentrate this color in the center of the face, especially on the parts of my face that are quite red, which is right on the cheeks and the nose. Let's start bouncing this in. And I think this foundation is actually really great for this kind of technique. It is full coverage, but it dries down to the point where you don't actually have to hit it with powder for it to stay. Ignore that, that's not a blackhead, that's a scab, because I don't know when to leave my skin alone. I'm just trying to blend these two areas together a little bit, but we're looking pretty darn fresh. Everything's kind of just a little more even, but we definitely don't look like we're wearing a whole lot of makeup. And so I have a couple darker spots on my cheeks. We're just gonna layer up ever so gently. And I was going to powder my under eyes just to prevent things from moving around, but honestly, I don't think I need to at this point. I'm not too sweaty or hot. So what I want to do next is throw on some bronzer, and I don't want to chisel anything. I just want to add a little bit more dimension to my face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a damp sponge, because I don't want to go in with my finger for this. I feel like I need to cover a little bit more surface area with a bit less concentration, dip it into the bronzer, dab it off on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to start slowly working that into the perimeter of the face, but we're gonna try and be very sparing with it today. Not going too far in, but we're just adding some depth and warmth so that when you look ahead, you have a little bit more definition here. Trust me when I say that I wish I had all of those Fenty cream products to do this tutorial with. Do a little bit under the chin. When it comes to this kind of makeup though, I usually don't end up putting any bronzer along the jawline. If you're working in natural light, that's just going to look like you put bronzer on your jawline. And maybe a tiny hit of it under the nose, but I don't want to contour the nose by any means. And that is it for bronzer. I know, shocking from me. It's starting to get kind of warm in here, so I'm gonna turn on the fan. We're gonna do a little bit of cream blush, or I guess this is a cushion blush actually. This is the Kaja Cheeky Stamp in the shade Saucy. It's the only cream blush I own, and I do wish I owned more. Although I don't wear them very often, they are insanely beautiful. I forego the stamp entirely. I do find that the stamp actually lifts product up. So what I like to do instead is I just take my finger and I just dip it right into that sponge. And this is a very neutral shade of the Cheeky Stamp, so we can use it pretty liberally. And we're trying to concentrate it right on the apple and then radiating out from there to blend it. This formula also has a really nice glow to it. I think it actually has little micro flecks of glitter so that it catches the light really, really, really beautifully. So again, radiating outward from the center point. And isn't that just absolutely stunning the way it blends into the skin? On my face shape, it's hard to get that blend on the front of the cheek. As soon as I take it too far up this way, all of this just looks red. I'm gonna layer that up a little bit because even though we're doing a natural look today, I can't help myself. Trying to blend that back a little bit more into the bronzer just to get that seamlessness. So I'm still waiting on a couple packages, one from Makeup Addiction Cosmetics and one from Glam Goth Beauty. I'm so excited to try their products. They look absolutely amazing. Honestly, I don't know if I'm actually gonna go in with any highlighter. I will, however, put this on my chin. I know some of you will hate this, but we're doing it. Just a little, okay? Get off my case. I just find that this is a really good way of looking sun-kissed. I'm just gonna quickly dot this in a couple of spots where I feel like we're just seeing a little bit more redness peek through on my skin. Still not feeling powder right now just because my skin just feels really comfortable. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to use highlighter. If I was gonna use anything, it would probably be Physicians Formula. Either that or using Colourpop Flexitarian, but Flexitarian is just a bit too bright and cool toned. Let me just swatch Flexitarian for you. See how like cool toned and silvery it almost is? Not really the vibe I'm going for. I mean, I want to use other things other than the same two products I use over and over again, but I honestly think that this is going to give me the vibe I want. It's like warm, peachy, a little bit more subdued than Flexitarian. So let's take the pinky finger, because it is the most precise finger I possess, and I'm gonna touch my nose with it, pat it out with a clean finger, touch the bridge, and we're gonna do the same thing for the inner corner. And I think my cheeks are already pretty glowy. I don't know if I want to hit the cheekbones with this stuff, but I do want to take the highlighter on the chin. And yeah, the under eyes are actually looking really good. I don't want to powder. What I am going to do is throw on some brows off camera, and then we will come back to do the last couple steps. Just because it's my signature brand, I'm gonna throw on some freckles. I feel like on especially unpowdered natural skin, this is really where Freck shines. It looks really good and really subtle. I used Freck for the first time on skin with no foundation, and actually it does look like real freckles, guys. Let's put on some mascara, because I don't think I want to put on any eyeshadow today. We're just going to pump up the volume on these lashes a little bit. I'm trying to be very careful not to get mascara on my eyelid, although that is always kind of a losing battle, just because I have very protruding eyelids that just get in the way. But to mitigate that a tiny bit, I like to, pretty much the same way I apply lashes, is I hold the mirror underneath my face, tilt my chin up, and then look down into the mirror. It is amazing how much of a difference mascara makes when you're doing a natural look. And suddenly, I look like a girl. It's so funny, actually. Flower Beauty back in the day shared one of my photos, and someone in the comments wrote, thought this was James Charles. I am no stranger to androgyny. That person also may have just been commenting on the state of my brows, which at the time were questionable. I'll do bottom mascara once I've sprayed my face, just to avoid raccoon eyes, but let's do a lip. I have a few things that I just kind of want to throw on because they are balmy and feel nice and look great. Something that I shared actually in the first video that I did in this space. This is the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Tinted Lip Treatment, and this is in the color Love Bite. This will act as a little base color because it is the most pigmented lip balm I own. It's so good. It's so good. I could leave it like this, but I just want that extra level of shine. And that's where the Just a Tint Lip Crayons come in by Colourpop. They are so, so beautiful, and the shine they give off is really creamy and natural. I'm gonna start with the shade Cherry Pickin on the outer perimeter, and then on the center, I'm gonna use Gimme S'more, which is my all-time favorite one. Is layering 3 separate products to create a natural lip excessive? Probably. We are gonna spray, just to make sure that everything stays relatively together. And that, folks, is it. That is my take on a very natural, very light coverage, no makeup look. I feel fresh as hell and comfortable. Honestly, I do feel like this is the way to go when you don't want to feel like you're wearing a ton of makeup. Sometimes full coverage doesn't feel nice. Just do what's comfortable for the day. And if what's comfortable is piling it on and chiseling it out and baking and all that, then do it. Because sometimes that is what feels comfortable to me. But today, this is making me feel very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that this is helpful, because I know that not everything I do on this channel is necessarily the most practical practical for everyday use, depending on where you work. But these are techniques that are extremely versatile, that work basically for everyone, and are pretty idiot proof. All you need is your fingers and a couple products, and you're good to go. So that's it. I'm gonna do my best to pump myself up for next week to do something a little bit more interesting, something that's going to be more entertaining for everyone. This week just wasn't it, guys, and if I wanted to get anything out at all, it was gonna be something a bit more low-key. A couple suggestions that I have for this week's video is go and check out some Black podcasts. The two that I listen to regularly are Fanti and Ear Hustle. Fanti is a new one for me, and I just really love their vibe. That podcast especially just like does wonders to dispel my ego. It feels good, it feels good. And Ear Hustle, it is a deep dive and really introspective look at the inmates of San Quentin. They bring such incredible journalism and storytelling to that podcast. I highly recommend just going back to the very beginning and binging it all the way through. It's just some of the highest quality storytelling and journalism that I've ever seen or heard, listened to. All right, folks, let me rattle it off. Here are the many ways that you can help out my channel. You can give this video a huge thumbs up. You can comment down below on what you thought of everything today. You can subscribe. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. And of course, I always leave my Patreon link in the description down below. It's always really exciting for me because I'm such a small creator when I get new patrons. And I have a couple of patrons at the $10 level right now. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you to them. Even though they didn't ask for a particular shout out, I just had to give it to them. Kay and Christine, thank you so much for being a $10 patron of mine. Just so you know, the $10 level is where I give you a personal shout out or promotion on a upcoming video. I hope you were all keeping safe and well. And if you're not feeling it this week, don't worry. Neither am I. So you are not the only one. All right, friends, be kind and be generous, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.